A new mask mandate kicks in tonight for Salt Lake County.
On this one, however, we're dealing with a variant that's incredibly contagious.
How long the health order will be in effect and what it means for you. From frustrations to relief. How businesses in Salt Lake County are now adjusting to the mandate.
I'm tracking our next storm as it arrives in northern Utah, the impacts to your weekend plans, and when valley inversions will return.
An unlikely reunion on a Utah street corner.
Are you serious? You got jocks?
The chance meeting that led a man back to his son and the child's new happy family.
Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
This was necessary. It's temporary. We're talking about 30 days of people when they're indoors wearing masks. And I know we can get through this together.
It is official. Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson has signed a public health order. Effective at midnight, Salt Lake County will be under a new mask mandate. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kelly Chapman. We do have team coverage. To start, we're going to go to Fox 13's Ben Winslow. He broke the story earlier today, and he explains the immediate and expected long-term impacts of this new mask mandate order.
It's only going to get worse unless we all choose to take a layered approach for our mitigation measures. And we need to do this for our essential services in our hospitals right now.
For the next 30 days, Salt Lake County will be under a mask mandate to disrupt a surge in COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths.
I do think COVID is going to be endemic. However, we are not endemic right now, not with over 4,000 cases in Salt Lake County alone, with our hospitals already full and our essential services such as fire and law enforcement being at risk for not being able to respond because people are out sick.
The order applies to all indoor settings and lines, including schools. The health department recommends KN95 masks now. Exceptions include children under age 2, people with medical conditions or disabilities to prevent wearing a mask, people working while alone, and of course, while eating or drinking at a restaurant.
And it has a 30-day time frame on there for a specific reason, because we know from other states that Omicron comes really quickly and has the potential to leave really quickly. So we are anticipating this to hopefully, knock on wood, be a short period of time we're dealing with this.
It's the second time Dr. Dunn has sought a mandate. Last year, she requested one for Utah schools, but the county council overrode her.
I feel like we made the right decision. On this one, however, we're dealing with a variant that's incredibly contagious.
This time, they do not appear to be opposing it.
Most of us are probably going to get Omicron at some point. But being able to spread this out so that it eases the burden on the healthcare system and also our economy, I think is critical.
The Utah legislature severely restricted mask mandates last year. Health departments can issue them, but county commissions or councils can overturn them. Salt Lake County's order came on the same day a judge heard a legal challenge to those laws as applied to schools.
We're approaching the point, Your Honor, where we're literally expanding our number of new cases on a daily basis. So if that's not a matter of great public importance, I don't know what is.
The judge promised a ruling soon.
If the motions to dismiss are denied, we move on to the hearing on the argument as to whether or not the statutes are unconstitutional.
Polling other members of the county council, it appears they are divided, but council chair Lori Stringham's office tells me she has no plans to call a special meeting on voting whether to overturn the mask mandate, so it will go into effect. At the Salt Lake County Government Complex, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The House Speaker and Senate President have issued a statement on the mask mandates in Salt Lake and Summit counties. They note the legislature's process with checks and balances, and while they believe in mandates as a last resort, they will review the orders. The Speaker and President say, as other areas have experienced, we hope Utah's current COVID-19 surge is temporary. We continue to encourage Utahns to get vaccinated and take precautions to keep themselves and those around them healthy without overwhelming our hospitals. This mask mandate comes as Utah sees a new record for COVID cases for the third day in a row now. Over 9,400 people have tested positive. 538 COVID patients are in the hospital right now. That's roughly a 25% increase from just a week ago. And while a mask mandate isn't new to Salt Lake County businesses, many are having to adjust very quickly tonight. Fox 13's Spencer Joseph is live outside Vivint Arena, one of many places in our community enforcing the mask mandate starting tomorrow. Spencer, what are you hearing from other businesses?
I think one of the first things that comes to mind for many of these places, including Vitamin Arena, is a little bit of frustration knowing that we're back in the same situation that we have been in the past. But with that, a little bit of confidence too, because all of the places that I've spoken with say because they've been here before, they believe we can get through this again.
We've been through it, so we're definitely more prepared now, and we're way savvy on like what we need to do to be ready for this. How was everything tonight? Good. Everything good?
It was a lifelong dream of Randall Curtis to open Harbor Seafood and Steak. Now 7 years into business and about 2 years into the pandemic.
Tomorrow it's like you got to have masks to come in.
Now with COVID on the rise and a mask mandate into effect, businesses could be threatened once again.
You know, we're definitely like 10 steps ahead of the virus this year compared to last year.
This time around, though, feels like they're in a stronger place. And with greenhouses outside and takeout services up and running, he's ready.
I think everyone is very conscious about the cleanliness of their business, their operations.
It's a busy time for the arena.
Across town at a much different kind of business, Vivint Arena, they're adjusting too.
We've got monster trucks in town this weekend. Harlem Globetrotters are here on Tuesday night. The next Jazz home game is Wednesday night. We've got a concert at the end of next week as well.
Starting tomorrow, they too will be having everyone mask up.
In support of the health and well-being of our community, Vivint Arena will be enforcing the mandatory mask mandate.
In much the same way, they feel ready too.
Our staff is well versed and we're prepared.
But there's a problem that Randall is seeing. During the first spike of cases, people were canceling out of fear. He's now seeing a new kind of cancellation.
One night we had 40 people cancel in one night, and they were large corporate parties that where half their group had the virus.
So from a packed arena to a local restaurant, the pandemic isn't done having an effect on our community.
Health and safety is first and foremost with us.
We want to follow the law. We want to follow the rules. You know, we want everyone to be safe. I definitely sympathize with people that don't want to wear a mask, but it's just unfortunate. It's just the times.
So as you heard a few minutes ago, this mask mandate is 30 days long. It will expire on February 7th. By then, the hope is that we can help curb the pandemic as it equates to the Omicron variant of the virus, and hopefully everyone can stay safe by masking up. Of course, we'll keep you up to date with the latest. For now, live at Vivint Arena, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Thank you, Spencer. The Utah Department of Health is switching up how it does COVID testing because of high demand. The 4 sites that have had the longest waits will now shift to appointment only. We do have all of those details on our website. You can find them at fox13now.com. Now, for other sites, you'll have to get in line at least an hour before the posted closing time. State-operated testing sites will also stop offering tests to attend work or events unless you have symptoms or were exposed. Traveler testing is still available. The department is warning everyone to be prepared for those long lines, anywhere from 30 minutes up to 4 hours to wait. The University of Utah has some guidance for students who are getting ready to head back to campus to start the spring semester. The majority of classes will be held in person, but deans of individual schools may accommodate the needs of students and staff. Leaders are asking that everyone involved with the university get fully vaccinated, including a booster shot, participate in weekly testing through the university, and wear a mask indoors to prevent spreading infection.
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be rocky. We're going to be understaffed. We're going to have some difficult times. But I've been impressed by your collective wisdom and your ability to work through it and to be resilient.
Above all, university leaders are asking that everyone be flexible and have empathy towards others as the school navigates new challenges brought on by Omicron. And the spring semester, by the way, starts on Monday. Stick with Fox 13 News as we continue to follow the impact of the new mask mandate. Coming up in our next half hour, we'll have more reaction to this new order. Plus, we'll hear from Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall. Hey, what a day. If you didn't know it was, just the first week of January, you may think you were in like March or April weather. 50s, Allison, in the valley?
Close to 60 here in Salt Lake today. Out at the airport, we reached 58 degrees. It's still not bad right now, but not quite as warm as it was earlier today. We're at 41 degrees right now. Feels like 38 with some wind right now out of the south. But yes, today at the airport, that's where our official records are kept here for Salt Lake City. We tied a record of 58 degrees. A normal high is 38. Now, downtown Salt Lake City ended up reaching 59, and that smashed the old record of 50 degrees. So, yes, pretty wild. We do have lots of clouds here across Utah moving in, and we're starting to see some areas of rain and snow. Snow right now is mostly north of I-80 over towards about Highway 40. Kimball Junction, kind of spotty up through southwestern Wyoming. And as we look at the forecast through tonight, our best chance for precipitation out of this quick storm, it's going to be a pretty wimpy storm, is going to be tonight. So that's our best chance for precipitation to move in here in Utah, and then we'll dry out and just be much colder for the weekend. Right now it's about 40 degrees for Ogden, Salt Lake, and Provo. Fairly light wind. I'll let you know what you can expect with this storm tonight coming up.
Coming up on Fox 13 News at 9.
When I close my eyes, I see his execution in my mind. Over and over.
3 men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery learn their fate. Coming up, how long they will be in prison, plus the emotional testimonies from Ahmaud's family.
Finally, somebody seen my post and reached out to me and said, I know where your son's killer is.
A sense of closure tonight as a man accused of a murder 5 years ago is caught after fleeing the country. What the victim's mother has to say about this new step toward closure. And a young boy meets his biological father in an unexpected reunion. We'll show you in a story you will only see here. In national news, the family of Ahmaud Arbery asked a judge in Georgia to show no leniency as he sentenced the killers today. The 3 men are now facing life in prison and a second trial on the federal level. Fox's Caroline Shively reports.
Justice for Ahmaud Arbery. Justice for Ahmaud Arbery.
A Superior Court judge has sentenced the killers of Ahmaud Arbery to life in prison. Father and son Greg and Travis McMichael will have no chance at parole, while William Roddy Bryan could possibly be paroled when he is 82 years old. The 3 white men chased down and killed a 25-year-old black man while he was jogging through their Georgia neighborhood nearly 2 years ago.
When they couldn't sufficiently scare him or intimidate him, they killed him.
When I close my eyes, I see his execution in my mind. Over and over. I'll see that for the rest of my life.
The McMichaels chased Arbery in a pickup truck, then were joined by Bryan in his own truck. After 5 minutes, the 3 cornered Arbery. Bryan captured video on his cell phone of the younger McMichael shooting the unarmed man as Arbery grabbed for the shotgun and threw punches. Defense attorneys maintained their clients suspected Arbery of burglary, feared for their safety, and were attempting a legal citizen's arrest. On Friday, the judge said the men were seeking a confrontation.
And he was killed because individuals here in this courtroom took the law into their own hands.
The men face a second trial next month on federal hate crime charges. Caroline Shively, Fox 13 News.
President Joe Biden addressed job growth today after federal data showed the economy added less than 200,000 jobs in December. That is a quarter of what some analysts predicted. The president pointed to other numbers like December's unemployment rate of 3.9%, which is a post-pandemic low. He said, in his opinion, the Biden economic plan is working.
There's been a lot of press coverage about people quitting their jobs. Well, today's report tells you why. Americans are moving up to better jobs, with better pay, with better benefits. That's why they're quitting their jobs.
Well, the president's aggregate approval rating remains at 43%. That's according to independent polling site 538. It has dropped steadily since June, which is the same month inflation rose above 5%. President Biden also visited Boulder County, Colorado today to survey recent wildfire damage. The Marshall Fire burned more than 6,000 acres. It destroyed over 1,000 homes and businesses. Several inches of snow helped put out the flames. President Biden has approved the governor's request for federal relief funding to help in those recovery efforts. The Bidens travel next to Las Vegas to attend tomorrow's memorial service for the late Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. Today, the Supreme Court heard arguments on President Biden's vaccine mandates for large employers. Debate lasted for nearly 4 hours. The court's conservative majority appeared skeptical of mandates, while the outnumbered liberal justices made statements that seemed to indicate support.
This is the policy that is most geared to stopping all this. There's nothing else that will perform that function better than incentivizing people strongly to vaccinate themselves.
Well, the High Court is considering two key questions in the cases. First, whether the Biden administration can force every business with more than 100 employees to vaccinate its workers, and also whether a smaller mandate aimed at healthcare workers would be allowed to stand. The week of January 3rd through the 7th of the new year, 2022, may be remembered as the week America called in sick. Get this, more than 5 million workers may have used a sick day this week. That's according to data published in the Wall Street Journal. Maybe you're in that category. The Omicron variant is a big reason why.
Omicron has rapidly become the predominant variant, and cases have substantially increased to rates higher than we have seen at any point throughout this pandemic.
I think CDC is in a tough spot because there aren't enough tests and they're trying to find alternative ways of moving forward.
Airline cancellations continue to stack up at U.S. airports. Snowstorms on the East Coast helped contribute to 2,200 cancellations just today. There have been more than 1,000 canceled flights every day since Christmas.
The random nature of Omicron means that you don't know which of your employees are going to get sick. While airlines are trying to take steps to reduce the impact, there's no way they can get to an absolute zero proof level of being disrupted.
And now airlines say the snowstorms are coming at the worst possible time. The Omicron variant and ongoing staff shortages have already caused airlines to reconsider their winter schedules. JetBlue, Delta, and Alaska Airlines have all announced they will cut flights to help ease the strain. Sidney Poitier, the first black performer to win the Oscar for Best Actor, passed away last night. He won his Academy Award for 1964's Lilies of the Field. He is considered by scholars to be Hollywood's first black star. He would later become a civil rights champion and receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2009. Poitier was 94 years old. Let's check in with Utah's Weather Authority as we lead into your weekend. This has got to be the warm before the storm, Allison. Something just is not right for the first week of January.
I know you stepped outside this morning or this afternoon and you were like,
yeah, what's going on?
I don't remember it being this warm, but I'll enjoy it while I have it. Beautiful sunset tonight. This was Lake Point in Tooele County from Brian. Thank you so much for posting that on Utah's Weather Authority. We have daily weather discussions and we get great storm reports and pictures and videos from all of our viewers. Here in Salt Lake right now, 41 degrees. So for a warm sunset, nice to get outside on a nice day and enjoy it. We tied a record here at the airport for Salt Lake City today. 58 was our high. Today's record high, 58 degrees, set back in the 1950s, but a normal high would be in the upper 30s. Yes, we have a storm that's starting to bring us some precipitation across northern Utah right now. 43 for Provo, 36 for Tooele, 43 for Ogden, up in Logan and Brigham City in the mid-30s. Heber 43, 43 for Cedar City, 37 for Beaver right now. Moab 34, Price 29, Manti 39. St. George currently 47 degrees. Waking up in Salt Lake City tomorrow morning, we have the chance for a mixture of some rain and snow early in the morning, but by 7 a.m., Mostly cloudy, 33 degrees, and by 9 a.m., 34 degrees here in Salt Lake City. So let me show you satellite and radar. Clouds have filled in for much of Utah right now, especially I-15 and west. As we look up towards the Cache Valley, we're seeing some areas of rain and snow coming down. Some areas of moderate snow possible, especially for the Cottonwood Canyons overnight tonight. But what we're looking at right now, Logan Canyon, we are seeing some slick roads. And then for Logan, mostly some areas of rain showers. And then we have some snow coming down right now, mostly north of I-80 in Summit County up through Colville and along I-80 up towards Evanston. And then down towards Highway 40, Park City. And then our air quality forecast is going to start getting worse. So for right now and for Saturday and into Sunday, we have good air right now, but it's forecasted to become moderate by Sunday. And our overnight temps first thing tomorrow morning will be right around freezing for almost all of the state. We're going to have a very quick system that brings us some chances for some rain and snow along the Wasatch Front in just a few hours through overnight, early morning. And then we see that chance for some snow to mix in all the way down towards Cedar City first thing tomorrow morning. But by 2 o'clock tomorrow, we're close to 40 degrees. So our chance of precipitation here in Salt Lake for tomorrow, widely scattered. We have a break headed into the end of the week, and by next Thursday and Friday, that's when we're going to be tracking some more chances, potentially for a few showers to make their way back into the region, but nothing too promising. St. George, you're in the upper 50s this weekend. Nice afternoons, chilly mornings, close to 30 for overnight lows. And for Salt Lake, our 7-day forecast is very consistent. And with our quick storm tonight that exits, we quickly have ridging returning. That means high pressure and valley inversions making a comeback. We'll talk more about what you can expect here the next couple of days with potential snow totals coming up in your Super 7-day forecast.
Those January inversions are tough. Allison, thanks. A Utah school district is creating several remote learning days to give more planning time to teachers who are stretched thin due to staff shortages. More detail ahead. Plus, how you can get involved in volunteering with one of Utah's newest community groups, Afghan refugees. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Granite School District is hoping to help their teachers have more time to prepare for their classes. For teachers, time has been in short supply during the pandemic. Many have left the profession due to stress. Schools are having difficulty attracting and retaining substitute instructors. And when they can't find one, the mainline teachers have to fill the void. So the district is now implementing 3 contract days, which are distant learning days, which means there will be no students in the classrooms.
This will provide unencumbered planning and preparation time that is so necessary to help our students to be successful.
On those 3 distance learning days, materials and resources for students will come directly from district officials. For families who do rely on the schools to help feed their children, meals will still be provided. The first of those contract distance learning days is at the end of this month. It will be on Friday, January 28th. There will then be one in March and then also in May. Catholic Community Services is looking for hundreds of volunteers right now to help Afghans and other refugees settle here into the state of Utah. They say the need right now at least 300 volunteers to help those refugees in the community. For one opportunity, volunteers can expect to be assigned as a family mentor. The mentors help teach life skills like how to grocery shop and how to be prepared for a job interview.
Maybe that's learning how to use public transportation a second or third time. So they're really just a part of the team and they're not responsible to do everything on their own.
Volunteers for family mentoring must be over 18 years old and can expect to spend 2 to 5 hours a week with their assigned family. If you'd like more information, head to fox13now.com.
Coming up after the break.
Mask mandates return for 2 counties in Utah. Now Salt Lake City leaders want one of their own.
I'm trying to protect people, right? We're all trying to protect people.
Coming up, who else may be on board?
On a 3rd day of over-the-top COVID case numbers, see which major county has 3 times as many cases this week as they had last.
A chance encounter on a Utah street corner.
Are you serious? You got jobs?
The unlikely meeting between a father and son and the man and woman who adopted him. The touching story you will only see right here. Welcome back and thank you for joining us at 9:30. We continue to follow our top story tonight. Salt Lake County is putting a mask mandate in place just after midnight, hours away now. The mask order will be in effect for 30 days. It comes after a massive spike in cases this week alone. Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson says the county sits at over 4,600 cases per day. Just 2 weeks ago, that average was at 500 cases per day. Salt Lake City Mayor Erin Mendenhall started the ball rolling, asking for the mandate. Fox 13's Eliana Sheriff talked with her and with some residents about what they think about the mandate.
You know, our path back to normal is about vaccination, and in the meantime, it's about wearing masks.
The return of the mask follows an alarming surge of Omicron. We asked people how they feel about masking up again.
I think I support it. I think we should do it because people are getting sick and dying, and I don't want to die, you know what I mean? I should wear it myself, but I haven't been.
Because if it did its job the first time, it'll do it again.
I'm trying to protect people, right? We're all trying to protect people, and that's why we wear the mask. So when people don't, I feel like they're just in it for themselves.
Mayor Erin Mendenhall decided to reach out to both the health department and the county council because just issuing a citywide order would not be enough.
A crest, a wave, a surge like this, unlike any that we've ever seen before in the state of Utah, is a threat to everyone because the systems that we rely on as Utahns are compromised.
We've seen 3 days straight of record-breaking COVID cases reported across Utah. Hospitals have been and still are overwhelmed.
The capacity issues in the ICU are really what I think shake me to a core as a resident, that should a family member really need that kind of medical care and the system is simply unable to give it, that's not something we ever want to see anywhere in the state of Utah.
It's a move most businesses in the county support.
And we have heard from the hospitality and retail industry in particular that this would be helpful, which is something that we heard at other times with other waves in the past during the pandemic, that being able to say this is a government requirement, not a decision I'm making as an independent business owner, is something that a lot of businesses would rather lean on than their own independent decision.
Eliana Sheriff, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Right now, it can be very difficult for reporters and viewers to put this ever-changing pandemic into context, but this week's numbers make it necessary to look for new ways to understand what's happening around us. The CDC provides a number of ways to see what's happening at our local level. Fox 13's Max Roth takes an in-depth look.
First map, what happened from last week to this week in the population belt from Cache through Utah counties. All of those counties seeing 1.5 to 3 times the caseload of the previous 7 days. And the second map, this shows how many people are fully vaccinated in every county in Utah. The 16 light-colored counties are under 60% vaccinated, 8 of them under 50%. And the light blue counties are between 60 and 80% vaccinated, 9 are under 70%. And Summit and Daggett counties are the 2 in Utah that have exceeded 80% vaccination. For comparison, the counties making up the Denver metro area have much higher vaccination rates, and they're seeing far less of a surge right now. In the newsroom, Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, still tonight, a fire at the Chinatown supermarket in South Salt Lake is under investigation. Witnesses called 911 when they saw flames and smoke coming from the building earlier this morning. Firefighters say a climate control unit caught on fire during maintenance. Maintenance workers were able to shut off the power and gas.
There is damage to some of the roof, but not as much as could have been, so having the response from the people that they're working certainly helped.
Firefighters say it was a 2-alarm fire response to make sure the resources they had for such a large building were available. Fortunately, that backup unit was not needed and businesses were able to open once the fire crews cleared. More than 5 years after 16-year-old Paris Gustin was gunned down in the Glendale neighborhood of Salt Lake City, a man police say is responsible for his murder has been extradited from Mexico to Utah to face charges. Fox 13's Chris Arnold spoke with Gustin's mother this afternoon about what she calls a bittersweet moment.
To say that it's been a nightmare is an understatement.
Ashley Carter remembers July 5th, 2016 like it was yesterday.
To wake up to hear that your child has been murdered is it flips your whole entire world upside down.
Since the Granite Connections high school student and West High football player's death, his mom has not stopped fighting to bring the men police say are responsible to justice.
So what I did for the past 5 years is basically pay Facebook to boost my posts through Mexico. And finally, somebody seen my post and reached out to me and said, I know where your son's killer is.
Carter says after that information was verified, they were able to arrest Villagrana in Mexico back in June, eventually extraditing him back to Utah on Thursday. Now, Carter is left with just pictures and memories of her only child.
I mean, you can ask anybody who knew him. This kid was just the nicest kid. He was funny. He'd help anybody anytime he could. He will live on forever for sure. His stories made it all across the world. I mean, his story's all the way in New Zealand. So the world will know Paris Gustin's name forever.
With Villagrana behind bars, Carter says the fight now continues in court, where she hopes the district attorney will prosecute him to the fullest extent. Reporting from the Glendale neighborhood, Chris Arnold, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Villagrana is currently being held on a $1 million bond. The other suspect, Martin Cruz, was arrested back in 2017. Police say Cruz was driving the car when the shooting happened. A new report says Salt Lake City is a finalist to host the 2024 Republican National Convention. That is where the presidential nominee for the party is chosen. Politico says Nashville, Milwaukee, and Pittsburgh are also on the list. Members of the Republican National Committee will visit Salt Lake City soon as they make a decision for their host city. Coming up, University of Utah students protested against racism today, what they specifically want to see happen. And more fallout after a Utah Tech founder sent an anti-Semitic email. What Dave Bateman has agreed to do now.
And I'm tracking our next system as it moves into Utah. Coming up, what you can expect when you wake up Saturday morning.
We have an update now to a story Fox 13 News broke earlier this week. Entrada's CEO says founder and former board chair Dave Bateman has agreed to divest equity holdings in the company he created. This follows an anti-Semitic email Bateman sent to a number of Silicon Slope CEOs along with political leaders in the state. As Fox 13 first reported, Bateman accused Jewish people of a plot to exterminate billions through the COVID-19 vaccine. The remarks were widely condemned. Students at the University of Utah are taking a stand against racism. Students rallied there on campus today in response to recent hate-fueled incidents. Organizers also say too many resources are being put into campus police after what they call, quote, severe mishandling of Lauren McCluskey's murder case.
Well, the core of our message will be that the university leadership has in fact failed and that there are in fact real tangible ways for them to better and make our conditions much better than they are here on our campus.
Organizers say they want to defund campus police, also reallocate those funds toward basic necessities for students. Utah has new ways to protect wild animals from drivers. We'll show you just ahead.
And later in sports, high school hoops getting into the crux of region play. I've got the highlights to prove it. Well, the Jazz relied entirely on their reserves tonight in Toronto, and they played pretty well. Back in a bit.
The pass out.
Well, this is a good idea. New structures are being built to make sure wildlife is safe on our roads. Both the Utah Department of Transportation and the Division of Wildlife Resources, they've teamed up for two projects, and you're looking at them. They added fences and also animal overpasses along I-15, even shelters for desert tortoises down south, both in hopes to reduce collisions. So far, near Parowan, more than 8 miles of fencing have been added, as well as 14 escape ramps.
The structures are monitored by cameras, and so they'll come back and look and see how well those are doing. And based on the use and success of them, we make tweaks as we go forward.
Officials say the new additions should help during migration. Military service members and their families will soon have more amenities when they're traveling through Salt Lake City International Airport. The USO Airport Center just announced its grand opening. USO says these were the first guests there at the center. It did have a soft opening last month ahead of holiday travel, but it will be fully open come February 4th. The center offers free snacks and drinks, comfortable furniture, computers, Wi-Fi, an entertainment lounge, and luggage storage, as well as outreach programs. You know, sometimes you meet people in the most unlikely places, and that was the case for one Utah family today. Fox 13's Aaron Cox has an unexpected reunion that one family will cherish forever. It is a story you will only see here.
Let's say hi to the puppies.
That's Lily.
Puppy.
That's Lily.
She's so nice.
Yeah, she's.
What looks like a planned meeting between friends was actually an unexpected reunion.
We got pictures and he got to hold his hand and they got to give a high five. I said, what do you want him to know? And he said, I just want him to know that his dad loves him.
This will likely be the 4-year-old's first memory of his biological father. Brandy Vega was a foster parent for many over the years.
I had always known that God wanted me to have a boy. I knew this for a long time. I kept saying, where's my baby boy? But as a single parent, and I just thought it wasn't going to happen.
And then Brandy's caseworker called.
He said, Brandy, I have a baby for you. He's in Ogden. He's 2 days old. He's addicted to meth. Can you take him? I dropped everything that minute and I drove down to McCady and I saw him and he was the cutest baby I'd ever seen.
11 months later, Blaze was officially adopted. A few years later, Brandy remarried. On Friday, Brandy, her husband, and Blaze noticed a man panhandling at the corner of the shop they were visiting.
And I'll be honest, my first reaction is just kind of to look away because I don't want to feel guilty and I don't want to support that. But when I looked over today, again, I had this overwhelming feeling like, look, and I looked. And when I saw, I recognized. And then I recognized that we needed to stop.
Brandy realized it was Blaze's biological father.
I'm Brandy. I adopted your baby.
His biological father said, I've just been wanting to see him so bad. I just wanted to see his face.
We like playing some football.
What Brandy called a miraculous reunion.
We wanted to give him that gift. It's a new year, there's new beginnings, and just because people have addiction doesn't mean that they're bad people and that they don't love their kids. It just means they're not capable of taking care of them.
Okay, look at mom, look at mom.
Brandy says they were able to piece together a little bit more of Blaze's family history and learn where he came from, but more importantly, they were able to give him a memory of his biological father. In Salt Lake County, Aaron Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Wow. Now that wasn't a chance meeting.
Impressive story.
That's fantastic. What a treasure.
Definitely.
Okay, here we are. It's Friday night. We're heading into the weekend, and it was a warm Friday, especially warm for the first week of January.
Yes, we were tying a record here in Salt Lake today, close to 60 degrees. 58 was our high, and our next storm has arrived. So that was the warm before this very weak storm moves through. Right now, we are seeing some light to moderate snowfall through Logan Canyon up towards Bear Lake. Logan, Cache County seeing some areas of rainfall. Once you get down Sardine towards Brigham City, things are still just somewhat spotty and very light for precipitation, but this is expected to fill in over the next couple of hours. We could have a few hours of moderate to heavy snowfall up in the mountains. So our forecast snow totals taking you through tomorrow night. We could see several inches of snow up in the mountains. It's just not very likely that we end up seeing a whole lot here in the valleys. So we're mainly looking at about 3 to 7 inches of snow for the Cottonwood Canyons. Could have slick conditions at times tonight. Winter driving will be possible for our mountain passes, and we have that chance for snow all the way down to the mountains just close to Beaver, north of Circleville and the Capitol Reef area just west of there. St. George, you're close to 60 degrees for Saturday and Sunday, so what we had here in Salt Lake today, that's what St. George will continue to get through the next week. If you work from home and you've got time, hey, head down south because we have some valley inversions returning here across northern Utah. Salt Lake City in our super 7-day forecast. Let's go ahead and go a little more in depth in each day for you. Saturday, tomorrow here in Salt Lake, our temperatures will hang in the 30s for pretty much all afternoon. So when you wake up first thing tomorrow morning, you want to go for a walk and you're like, kind of cold. Maybe I'll wait till the afternoon. guess what? It's not going to be too much warmer tomorrow afternoon, so you can go out for that walk anytime you want. On Sunday, if you're going to go for a hike or you're going to do some skiing, you're going to have a really chilly start to your morning on Sunday. At 8 a.m. up in the mountains, 10 degrees. By lunchtime, though, closer to 20 degrees. Here in Salt Lake, we're close to 40 degrees on Sunday. We head into Monday, 37. By Tuesday, 38 degrees here in Salt Lake City, and we're going to end up with some temperatures for you that are very consistent between storms. High pressure is going to take hold. As you can see, that chance of precipitation, our outlook over the next 7 days brings us some widely scattered showers tomorrow and then some widely scattered showers possible towards the end of next week. So that means your top headlines here in Salt Lake City by next Wednesday, we're drying out. We have average temperatures or just barely above average temperatures, and we have valley inversions that have returned. By next Thursday, we're looking at 39 degrees for a high. By next Friday, 38 here in Salt Lake. And our precipitation outlook for week 2 has us a bit drier in western Utah. Eastern Utah, normal precipitation heading into next weekend and the week after that. But temperatures very consistent with valley inversions returning here in Salt Lake City.
Imagine being the Jazz and having your top 8 guys all unable to suit up. It would never happen, I know. And yet it did. Tonight in Toronto, only 2 of the 8, Rudy and Joe Ingles, were out with COVID. Well, 6 more all happen to be injured in one way or another at the moment. So you can understand why the Jazz might be 11.5-point underdogs on the road, with the club suddenly looking more like the Salt Lake Stars tonight. Eric Pascal, for one, taking advantage of the increased time. Nice take. And then Pascal converts off a missed free throw. His season high coming in was 13, but he tallied 17 in the opening quarter and 29 overall. Utah 15 after Malik Fitz. Half-court heave, everything working early up north, but a 13-point halftime advantage quickly dissipates in the third thanks to this guy, Frank Van Fleet, taking over inside an empty arena. Lobs for OG Anunoby, then 3 balls dropping like sweet rain, one after the next. A triple-double of 37, 10 boards, and 10 dimes for Van Fleet as the Jazz got outscored 73-46 in half 2 to fall 122-108, but overall, Coach was pleased with what he got from his fill-ins.
We're asking a lot of a group that really hasn't played together. A few of them have played together, but on the whole, you know, in a game against a team of this caliber, you know, I thought particularly the way that, you know, we competed in the first half, pleased and proud of the guys that were out there tonight and how they competed.
High school hoops, including 12-0 Davis hosting a Region 1 battle with Farmington. The Phoenix with the first 6 inbounds to Tyler Larson. Works like a charm. The Darts finally on the board with 3.5 left in the first baseline, courtesy of Henry Eyrig, followed by an open court steal and deuce. Rex Sunderland doing the goods for Davis. The BYU-bound Colin Chandler leading Farmington to a lead after 1 quarter. Nice baseline 3-pop here. Chandler led all scorers with 15, but thanks to a dominant third, Davis was better in the end to keep that perfect record intact and won. Colby Sims 46-43 the final. And a couple of 10-2s tipping away in Bingham. This is how the Miners fly. Devin Carlson receives the oop to start the 4th. In fact, Bingham's going to try it again. This time Carlson can't bring it down, but all part of the plan because it eventually gets kicked out to Luke Leatherwood to lift the home team up 13 on Pleasant Grove. The full court press working this time for the Vikings. Makai Peterson's poke leading to Michael Mitten's layup. Davis, though, getting the best of the press the next time down. Leatherwood in waiting and chalk it up to them in overtime, 71-62. And over at the Maverick Center, the best of Utah, where Utah State's Bree Clark had the best score of the night in any event, a 9.925 on the floor. The Aggies placed second ahead of BYU and Southern Utah, but as a unit, the Red Rocks sailed to victory. Crystal Issa sticking her finish on the beam, followed by the Olympian Grace McCallum. Great vault. Utah with a team score of 197-100.
Fantastic athletes, those girls. Red Rocks are hard to beat.
Yeah, gymnastics is back. It's a popular act in town.
I'll be interested to see when the Jazz will be back in full force. But hey, the bench.
At least 1 or 2 of them.
That would be nice, but we've got to give it to our bench tonight. That was a good showing.
It was a valiant effort. It really was.
They should be proud of themselves. We are. Thanks, Morgan. We'll be right back. Donna goes. Spectacular, isn't it, Morgan? Do you recognize that
I kind of
place?
wish I was the one who actually pulled the dynamite.
Yeah,
lever.
hit the button. Part of Oregon State University's football stadium has been imploded to make way for renovations. The west side of Reser Stadium came crumbling down within seconds after a timed detonation early this morning. The demolition is part of a $153 million renovation project there at the school. It is set to be complete by fall of 2023.
Wow.
Well, the Utah State Aggies are getting in on the fun tonight. Last month, the Aggies beat the Oregon State Beavers in the LA Bowl. We remember that, right? That was a good game. Today, they retweeted, quote, "Geez, guys, it was only a bowl game."
That's really funny.
All in fun.
Yeah.
Oh, those Aggies, they're fun. Thanks for being with us, everyone. If you can, stick around for a quick cast. That's up next. Have a great weekend.